Welcome to the deep dive. We're jumping straight into the state of recruitment for 2025 today.
Yeah, it's a fascinating landscape.
And according to this Elvis Eckardt Recruitment Report, it's just massive, a huge global industry.
The numbers are pretty staggering, aren't they?
Totally. $761 billion in 2024, and they're projecting, what was it, $834 billion by 2026?
Yeah, shows you just how much is going on in finding and keeping talent.
So much change.
Absolutely. And the Elvis Eckardt Report, it really gives a comprehensive look at a sector that's, well, transforming, driven by some really powerful forces.
Exactly. Like, you've got the rise of AI, which we have to talk about. Then there's remote and hybrid work, which feels like the new normal now.
Definitely normalized.
And, candidates themselves, they have higher expectations, clearer demands.
That's right. They know what they want.
It feels like companies are really navigating a heck of a ride, really.
Yeah.
Talent battles everywhere.
It's a good way to put it. These aren't just, small tweaks. The report suggests these are pretty fundamental shifts.
All right, changes that are probably here to stay.
Seems likely.
So, okay, our mission in this deep dive is to really unpack this Elvis Eckardt Recruitment Report for you, the listener. We want to pull out the most crucial insights, the biggest trends, give you a clear picture of what's actually happening.
From AI's role to skills-based hiring, DEI, all of it.
Exactly, the whole picture.
And the report covers so much ground. We'll focus on what these trends mean, for anyone involved in work, hiring managers, people thinking about their next career move.
Perfect. Let's get right to it then. Starting with the report's top 10 global recruitment trends. And there's some really interesting data here.
Okay.
First up, AI in recruitment. Artificial intelligence.
The big one.
Yeah. Apparently 76% of recruitment firms are already using AI. Screening, scheduling, even sourcing candidates.
And what's really notable is the impact it's having. The report claims companies using AI see, a 35% improvement in time to hire?
35% faster. That's huge.
Yeah, it is. And it also mentioned a 22% cut in recruitment costs. So real efficiencies there.
Serious savings, time, and money. They gave that IBM example too, right? Cutting time to fill.
Yeah, from 45 days down to just 28 by using AI.
Wow. That's a dramatic drop. What does that tell us about where AI is heading in this space?
Well, it suggests we're past the experimental stage. It's widespread implementation now because the benefits are tangible.
Right. Streamlining things.
Exactly. Which raises interesting questions about the human recruiter's role, doesn't it? As AI takes over more admin.
Yeah, maybe shifting more to strategy, candidate relationships.
Potentially, yeah. More strategic talent work.
Fascinating. Okay, trend number 2. Skills over degrees.
Yes, this one's been building momentum.
It seems like it. 61% of job ads are now skipping degree requirements, focusing more on actual skills.
It makes sense, doesn't it? It reflects this growing idea that practical skills, what someone can actually do, often matters more than just the diploma.
Right. Less about the paper, more about the toolkit. Okay, third point, and this is critical. DEI.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion, yes.
The report says 84% of global companies have measurable DEI goals now.
And DEI, just to be clear for everyone, diversity is about representation, equity is fair treatment and opportunity, and inclusion is about fostering that sense of belonging.
Exactly. And it's not just like mission statements anymore, is it?
Not at all. The report actually draws a direct line between DEI efforts and, business performance.
How so?
Companies in the top quartile for DEI, they're reportedly 36% more profitable.
36%. That's significant.
It is. And they also found a link to innovation. They cited Microsoft, where DEI initiatives seem to coincide with a 20% jump in innovation metrics.
So diverse teams bringing different perspectives, driving creativity.
And that seems to be the implication, yes. More creative solutions.
Powerful stuff. And it's not just internal, right? Candidates care too.
Oh, hugely. The report says 84% of candidates actively check a company's DEI credentials before applying.
84%. What does that tell you about today's job seekers?
It really underscores that people are increasingly values-driven. They want to work for places that align with their own beliefs, places committed to fairness.
So a strong DEI record is becoming a real competitive advantage.
Absolutely. For attracting top talent, definitely.
Okay. Next trend. Remote and hybrid work. Feels like we talk about this constantly.
Because it's reshaped everything.
True. The report states 63% of roles are now at least partly remote.
And here's a key number. 58% of job seekers see flexibility as non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable. Wow.
It really shows how much workforce expectations have shifted. It's not just a perk anymore, it's fundamental.
And it helps keep people, too, apparently. Lower turnover.
Yeah, companies offering remote options see about 25% lower turnover, according to the report.
And productivity. Didn't it say productivity actually went up?
A 7% increase reported for remote teams. So those early worries about output may be unfounded.
Seems like it. What do you think drives that? Better work-life balance?
Yeah.
Less commuting stress?
Probably a mix of factors. Happier employees, maybe more focused work time for some. The Twitter example was interesting, too.
Oh, right. 95% staff retention with flexible policies. Before recent changes there.
Exactly. It really showed the power of flexibility for retention.
All right, let's switch gears to how companies interact with candidates. Candidate experience.
Crucial.
And the stat here is pretty stark. 69% of candidates say they won't reapply if they had a bad experience.
That's almost 70%. It really highlights the long-term damage a poor experience can do.
Yeah, it's not just losing that one person. It hurts your whole reputation.
Damages the brand, deters others.
Which brings us neatly to the next point. Employer branding.
Right. Your reputation as an employer.
72% of top companies are actively investing in it.
Yeah.
Makes sense, given that 86% of candidates check company values before applying.
So what exactly is the employer brand? It's the whole package, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Values, culture, what you offer employees, the whole what's it like to work here picture.
Mm-hmm. The report mentioned NPS too, Net Promoter Score, a benchmark of 65 plus for top hiring brands.
Right. NPS measures how likely candidates are to recommend you based on their hiring experience. So a high score means good word of mouth.
And a strong brand, yeah.
Okay, we touched on skills earlier, but let's dive deeper. Skills-based hiring and talent mobility.
Okay.
Report reiterates 61% of companies prioritize skills, but also 70% of firms now have reskilling programs focusing internally.
Which is smart, right? It's a strategic approach. Reskilling helps companies adapt using their existing people.
And it helps keep them. Didn't it say internal mobility boosts retention?
By 41%, yeah. Moving people into new roles within the company keeps them around longer.
So invest in your current team, give them paths to grow, don't just look outside.
Exactly. And LinkedIn apparently reported a 40% jump in skills-based hires since 2022, so the trend is real.
What's pushing that internal mobility focus, do you think? Cost, speed?
Probably all of the above. It's often cheaper and faster to upskill someone who already knows the culture. Plus, it's great for morale, showing people there's a future for them there.
Makes sense. Okay, so where are companies finding these people? Recruitment marketing and sourcing channels.
Right, the where.
Job boards are still big, 56%, but social media is right behind at 42% and growing.
The mix is key now. Job boards for reach, social media for more, targeted engagement, maybe finding passive candidates.
And good old employee referrals. Still powerful.
Always. 36% of hires come from referrals, the report says, and they tend to stay longer.
Why do you think referrals are so consistently good?
Well, employees usually know who'd be a good fit culturally and skill-wise. Plus, referred folks often onboard faster, feel more connected early on.
Okay. And video job ads are getting more clicks too. 34% more.
Yeah, video can be more engaging, gives a better feel for the role in the company than just text.
Got it. All right, let's talk tech for a minute, the recruitment tech stack.
The tools of the trade.
Almost everyone, 95% of big firms, uses an applicant tracking system, an ATS, software to manage hiring.
Standard practice now.
BUT. Only 57% integrate their ATS properly with other tools.
And that's the catch. That lack of integration between the ATS, maybe a CRM, AI tools, it creates bottlenecks, inefficiencies.
Right. When they do work together well, the report suggests recruiters could be, 27% more productive?
27%. That's huge potential gain just from connecting the dots, streamlining workflows, getting a better view of the data.
Yeah. The report mentions Workday, Greenhouse, Lever as top tools. It's clear having tech is one thing, but making it work together is crucial.
Exactly. It's about strategic integration, not just having the software optimize the whole process.
Okay, nearly there. Let's hit compensation and benefits trends. Crucial stuff.
Always is.
Global wages are up 4.2%, report says. Even higher in tech, 6.5%.
But it's definitely not just about the paycheck anymore, is it?
Not at all. The report really emphasizes benefits beyond salary. Like 72% of employees value wellness programs.
Mm-hmm. And 45% want remote work stipends. Help with home office costs.
And 68% want flexible hours. That's a lot.
It shows a real shift towards valuing, overall well-being, work-life balance. It's the whole package.
So companies need a broader view of their total offer to compete, which leads to the final trend: retention and engagement.
Keeping the talent you have.
Turnover rate is apparently down a bit to 18%.
That's
better, better than it has been, perhaps. But the key link is engagement. Engaged teams are 21% more productive.
And way less likely to leave, right?
87% less likely to leave. That's an incredible number.
Wow. So engagement is really the bottom line for retention.
Absolutely. The report points to culture, growth opportunities, flexibility. Those are the key drivers for keeping people engaged and wanting to stay.
Okay, so that's the top 10 trends breakdown from the Elvis Eckardt Report. A lot to digest.
Definitely.
Before we wrap, maybe let's just quickly touch on the bigger picture, the sort of economic backdrop to all this. Sure. The report gives a snapshot of the global labor market. It's recovering, generally. Global unemployment around 5.2%.
But it varies a lot by region, doesn't it?
Oh, definitely. Europe's higher, around 6.8% unemployment. U.S. is lower, 4.1%. And Asia is really mixed. Japan needs workers. India has workers, but maybe not enough high-skilled jobs.
Yeah.
It's complex.
And things like inflation are still playing a role.
For sure. Inflation is still a factor. And that talent war is ongoing, especially in tech, healthcare, green energy. Fierce competition in those sectors.
Right. So those wider economic forces are definitely shaping how all these recruitment trends play out.
They absolutely provide the context for the challenges and opportunities companies are facing.
Okay, so we've really dug deep into the Elvis Eckardt Recruitment Report for 2025. If you had to pull out the main overarching themes, what stands out most?
I'd say a few big things. One, AI and automation are just everywhere now, making things more efficient.
Right, streamlining.
Two, flexibility and remote work aren't optional anymore. They're critical for attracting and keeping people.
Non-negotiable, like you said.
Three, that shift towards skills, valuing what people can do over just credentials.
Yeah, skills-based everything.
And finally, the absolute necessity of real commitment to DEI and just providing a good, respectful candidate experience. It matters hugely.
It sounds like adaptability is key for 2025.
Yeah.
Companies need to evolve.
Adaptability, focusing on people, candidates, and employees, and using tech smartly, strategically.
Using tech to enhance the human side, not just replace it.
Precisely. It's a dynamic, competitive world out there. The companies that get this people-centric approach right, they'll be the ones who succeed in finding and keeping the best talent.
So, thinking about all these shifts from the report, maybe a final thought for you, the listener. Considering these trends, AI, flexibility, skills, DEI, how might your own approach, whether you're hiring talent or navigating your own career, need to change? How do you need to adapt to thrive in this really dynamic environment?
Yeah, the numbers tell a clear story.
They really do. Are you ready for that next chapter? Something to think about. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us.